Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and this is going to be the first video for the APK, and I just want to focus on the Hulk. I do have this team here because we're going to explain why I'm going to be using this team, but I want to focus on the Hulk and answer the question as to whether or not they gave him the justice that he deserves. So let's take a look at old boy. So right now my Hulk has 37,000 physical attack, which really doesn't matter. This HP does matter. We'll talk about why in a second. But he has 130,000 HP. The cards in this APK have 20% max HP. If you take a look here, view card effects, we have 20% max HP. So that's something to keep in mind when you're watching the Hulk, tear it up, do whatever he's doing. The more HP that you have on your card set, the stronger that he is going to be, and that is due to his skills. As far as his details, he has max attack speed, 55 crit rate, 189 critical damage, pretty good stats. He has max ignore defense, and he has 44% cooldown. That could be better, and that would make a difference in the amount of damage we would be doing, because if you can rotate through your skills more often, you're just going to do more damage. That's just the way it works. He has 65% dodge. Oh, and one more quick thing. And he has gamma radiation. That'll be important in a second. In the live stream, I tested this guy. I wasn't really too happy with him. So I changed the build, and we got a much better build than what I did in the live stream. We got these HP Odin's Blessings in each of his slots, which is really going to help his damage. And then we have these HP Urus as well. Now these were already here in the live stream, and then I just got one physical attack. Really, I think I'd probably just take that physical attack off, maybe put another dodge there to help the rage. The same here, maybe do that instead. Really have to work with the build. I don't even think the ISO 8 set is optimal, to be perfectly honest, the way this guy is, but I don't know, it has to be tested. The only other character that has damage based on how much HP they have is Victorious. As far as his skills, I mean, look at his tier 3. This tier 3 is pretty plain Jane. It's got a 2-second stun, has an 80% chance to penetrate everything for 10 seconds. That's good. It has a 5-second invincibility, which is kind of wacky. A lot of tier 3s have 10-second invincibilities, even debuff removals, but not Hulk. I guess he doesn't get one. But he does have a debuff removal on his 4th skill, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. I'm not really sure. He has an increased attack by 60%, all defense by 60%, all speed by 20% per HP, which is great for 10 seconds. That's really going to help his damage for 10 seconds. That's really nice. It's a pretty short tier 3. His passive does give him super armor. He did gain a little extra decrease all damage received. Now it's 35%, which is good. He's actually fairly tanky. I'll show that in a second. Has one skill, physical damage 20% of HP, and that's the key thing, of HP. And then all these skills are going to be the same thing. He's got a 25% chance of missing attack. He's got fracture. He has 96% of HP. Physical damage 96% of HP. His 3rd skill, increased character size by 30%, all attack by 30%, and then all defense by 30%, and a 30% increase of max HP. So it's very important to do this skill first to increase the damage of your proccing skills. However, if you're playing with a proc, you don't want to hit the skill first because it'll probably trigger your proc. You probably want to do a different rotation, and we'll talk about that. His 4th skill gives him an immunity to all damage, which is really great on Hulk because he does have super armor. So he doesn't get guard broken unless it's by penetrating attacks, which is like purple attacks and world boss. That's really good. He has an increased damage by 70% for one attack. So when you're proccing your skills, you want to make sure you're proccing on the 4, but you want to get the residual damage of the 5 as well, and of the tier 3 if you can. And all of these, physical damage, blah, blah, percent of HP. And then his 5th skill, remove all debuff, physical damage 32% of HP. Now, I want to mention something really quick here. In the APK, this skill, Savage Destruction, actually had damage accumulation on it. It had an increased attack by 15% for each 1% of damage taken for 10 seconds. Accumulate 150% of true damage regardless of defense and dodge rate stats. The total true damage accumulated cannot exceed 15% of HP, which would have been amazing on this guy. But they took it off of him. Now, if you look over here, It says, because Gamma Ray Burst grants enlargement effect and increases max HP, and Savage Destruction. Savage Destruction skill grants increased attack per accumulated damage received. Does it now? Well, we're going to take a look at that in a second and see if it is. His passive gives a 3% recovery of max HP. This is good. It's nice that they changed it from 90% to 99%. That it activates when he's below 99%. Much better heal. Definitely an improvement, making him a whole lot better. I don't think it's quite good enough, but you could argue that it is. But when you look at other characters in this update, like Abomination, who have 6%, it's kind of like, what? Hulk's got a better healing factor than Abomination ever did in the comics. So it doesn't make no sense to me. Plus, applies to self 45% recovery of max HP for 1 second on a 150-second cooldown. So that's really good. He gets a nice 45% recovery of max HP when he gets below 20% HP. His leadership, this was 30% physical attack. They changed it to 24% increase of all defense. Since all of his damage is based on HP, this really isn't a big deal. We have a lot of physical damage dealing leaderships, a lot of all attack leaderships already in the game. Much more meta than 30%. So this, at first I didn't like it, but then I got to thinking about it afterwards, and I was like, you know what? It really isn't a big deal. It really isn't. So let's preview the skill, and let's see if this damage accumulation is activating. So I'm going to run up here. There we go. And we're going to hit that fifth skill, and we're going to see if that damage accumulation shows up. Nope, nope. We see the all debuff, but nothing else. There is no damage accumulation up here. Where the hell is the damage accumulation? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing damage accumulation. So they nerfed him from the live stream that they did, those freaking peckers. I think it's a bunch of crap. Hulk should have damage accumulation. It should be working, and it's not. I don't know if it's a glitch or not, but I don't think it is a glitch because they took it out visually, and it's not showing up here as well. So, yeah, that's a bunch of crap. They need to put that back on him. Maybe they felt he was going to be too overpowered, but it's the Hulk. It's the Hulk. He's supposed to be overpowered. He's supposed to be ridiculous, especially a mortal Hulk. The guy is ridiculous. But anyways, with a Rage, the rotation that you want to be doing is you want to hit the third skill, get that increased size, and that 30% max HP, and that all attack buff. Then you want to hit the fifth skill, and as soon as the jet comes down, go ahead and go into the 4. And you're trying to put the proc on the 4th skill. If you're playing with a proc, what I'd probably do is hit the 5 first. And if that 5 had damage accumulation, this would be insane, but it doesn't. I'd hit the 5 first, just hit the 5, wait for the jet to come down, and then hit the 4. Hopefully the 5 wouldn't trigger the proc. However, it might. If it does, then maybe you want to start off with the 4. You might have to finagle your rotation a little bit compared to what I'm doing. So I'm doing 3, boom, smack, hit the 5, and then go into the 4, let him spin around, boom, do the 2, the 1, okay? And then it's going to be the same thing again, and then when you get ready to use your tier 3, sometimes the way the rotation works is sometimes you'll be able to hit the 5 first, like so. You'll see a jet come down, then you can hit the tier 3, he jumps up, slams down, then go into the 4. You want to make sure you get that third skill off before you do that to get you 30% max HP. You'll all see what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a perfect rotation. It's a work in progress, so I'm still working on it, but he definitely seems like he's doing a lot better damage with what I'm doing. Now, this is going to be something that could be argued about. He has a Power of Angry Hulk set, and the set bonus is 40% increase of all attack. Back in the day when we tested this crap with Victorious, the all attack set actually did do her better in ABX. Now, for this build, for this account, actually Hawkeye would be a lot better because you get this extra dodge for the Rage. That would be just a lot nicer. Then our Rage proc would be pretty much maxed out as far as crit rate and dodge. And plus we'd have that extra cooldown to max out the cooldown. So actually this would be a better ISO set on this account. However, like on my account, maybe it wouldn't. I just don't know. So that's something to think about. This really isn't optimal for this account, but it is what it is. We're going to make do with it. And if you notice, the cooldown is only at 44%. If we had Hawkeye on here, it would be at 50%, which would make a difference. His gear, we got a CTP of Rage. A lot of people are like, put a CTP of Regeneration. Yeah, obviously. It's going to increase his max HP, but that's a PvP obelisk. It's a PvP obelisk. He's going to do more damage with a CTP of Rage. I guarantee it when it comes to World Boss. I guarantee it. And I'm a PvE-oriented player, and that's the first things I'm going to test. I did test Hulk, and PvP, he definitely has potential. He's pretty damn tanky. I took out Jean Grey with him. I mean, he can do it for sure. It's just, is he going to do it on auto? I don't know. It's going to be one of the deals you got to manually play, because if you got to manually play, you'd be better off just using other characters, unless maybe those characters are banned. So, I don't know. We'll see. PvP just isn't my thing, so I'm not really too focused on it. He has a mythic uniform, and this is something else that I changed since the live stream. I got him all decked up. We got HP in his second slot, all maxed out, mythic uniforms. HP here, so this HP is really bumping up his damage. We got the dodge here. This was not a mythic uniform when I was doing the live stream. We got a mythic uniform here. I didn't even have this uniform when I was doing the live stream. And then I got physical attack here. I wish I could change it to something else, but it seems like physical attack is the way to go. That will help him, but it would be a lot better if it was HP. Now, as far as the teams we're using, we're going to use She-Hulk, or Red She-Hulk, because of her, whoops, let's go here. Because of her, her 4-star passive, right? Yeah. She gives a 30% increase of HP and decrease all damage received by 10%. Going to make Hulk a little tankier. Going to give him that HP. That's really going to buff him. And then her leadership, increased fire damage by 65% and 25% increase of HP. So Hulk's going to be getting 55% increase of HP, and that leadership, the fire damage isn't going to do jack for him, but this is the best leadership for him. It's a real shame that she's a damn paywall, but it is what it is, I guess. Good old Netmarble. And then we are going to use Abomination. We're going to use Abomination because his Tier 2 passive applies to Gamma Radiation allies. And since Hulk and other Hulk characters have the Gamma Radiation tag, they're going to get this passive. He's a great support. Increased chain hit damage by 20% when attacking. Increased damage dealt to superheroes or supervillains by 45%. And that extra increased damage will help, absolutely. If it said increased physical attack, I probably wouldn't care for it too much. But because it's overall damage, it's definitely going to make a difference. I tested Victorious because she gets 30% extra HP instead of Abomination. I did much more damage using Abomination. This team composition seems like it's the best for Hulk as of right now. Now what I want to do is I want to show you just how strong he is. Now I'm going to actually do a little comparison between him and Namor. Now my Namor actually has a pretty good build. He has 38% physical attack. He has 126 attack speed, 47 crit rate, 192 critical damage. I mean, it's not too bad. He has max ignore defense, max skill cooldown, and something else. He has 67% dodge. He does have some Odin's Blessings on, just one Odin's Blessings. Yeah, he only has one physical attack Uru here. He has 2 physical attack here. He has 2 physical attack here, and then he has 2 physical attack. And okay, so that makes up for the one that's missing in the first slot. So more or less, he's got 2 physical attack Urus in each slot. We all know his skills. He's freaking an animal. He has a fully awakened Hawkeye set, and that's really what's giving him that extra cooldown. And then he has the CTP of Rage also. He also has a mythic uniform. You take a look at the uniform options. He's got max dodge. This isn't mythic, but I can't take it to mythic because Wolverine's a native tier 2, and I don't have the damn feathers, which really sucks. I got max ignore defense from Hulk, which is interesting. We have some max dodge. I did take this up to mythic, so we could do this comparison. And then we got critical damage from Pokey here. You know what? We can go ahead, do that. Okay, back out of there. Now let's take a look at Namor stats real quick. Okay, so it's a little bit over. We'll just leave it at that. Alright, so let's go into World Boss. Now, when you're doing these little comparisons, just keep in mind, I tested this a bunch of times. There were times where Namor was ahead by a bar. There were times where Hulk was pretty much about the same as Namor. It really depends on your run. It depends on a Proximus jumping around all over the place. It depends if you get caught in tornadoes. It depends if your proc lands when it should land. All kinds of different things. It's just, there's a lot of variables in here, so just keep that in mind. We're going to do stage 70, and the first team we'll put in here is Namor. So let's go to combat. We'll slap in Namor, and we'll go to universal here, and we'll put, where's she at? We'll put Satan in there. She's going to give him that extra 70% fire damage. That's really going to help him. And then we'll put Ghost Panther in there, and Ghost Panther is going to give an extra 50% fire damage on top of the 45% damage of supervillains. Very strong team for Namor. Jump in here, and we'll just use all these damage dealt to supervillains. Ancient One there is going to help because she's going to use that third skill and debuff that freaking poison that's on the ground. Really help our survivability because stage 70 is pretty tough. So here we go. Now I'm going to be using the rotation that I used in ABX for old Namor. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, there. So one bad thing about Namor, he really gets caught in those tornadoes pretty easy. Come on. Here we go, come on. Alright, not a real good run. Just got caught again. I really actually hate playing this guy. Alright, here we go. Namor is an awesome character, but he's really funky to play. Okay, we got caught in the tornadoes again. Come on. Well, he's about ready to freaking croak. Alright, so we got down to the 11th bar. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. It wasn't a really good run. Actually, the proc was missing quite a bit. It really wasn't that good of a run. It was okay, but it gives you an idea. But this will give you an idea how strong Hulk is, because I'm doing this off the cuff. This wasn't some pre-recorded video. So let's see what Hulk does. Okay. Alright, we'll put Abomination in there, put the big green machine in there, and then let's go to combat, easier to find her. There we go. Something else that's nice, by the way, is the fact that we got some max HP here. That's pretty cool. Here we go. Alright, so hopefully the proc will trigger when it should, but you just never know. The thing that sucks sometimes is because he does that stupid clap. Well, not stupid, I mean, I like it. It's just it triggers the proc sometimes too early. Like right now, this is about what you want. You don't want it triggering, you don't want the 5 triggering the proc. See, this is working out really nice right now. Because we're going to get our 3 skill off. We're going to hit the tier 3. We're going to use the 4. And you can see the damage is actually pretty dang good. Oh, that freaking snare crap. Come on. But I mean, Namor did get snared too, so. Now we're going to hit our 5. Jet comes down, we hit the tier 3. And then go back into the 4. And no proc. How awesome is that? Oh, I love it when them procs don't trigger. Lost a ton of damage because of that. Proc came a little bit early there, but still pretty good. Come on. Trigger proc, trigger proc, trigger proc, trigger proc. Didn't trigger again. Come on. And you can see that Hawk, you know, he is behind Namor. He's not, I mean, proc didn't trigger again. I mean, it's just, freaking annoying. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Really, what would help Hawk is some guaranteed critical rate. That would help a lot. I almost think putting Warwolf with him would be better. But he gets, I mean, he gets a crap ton of critical damage from his uniform effect. So you can see here, you know, we're about 30 seconds behind Namor. So, I mean, Hawk's strong, but he just isn't what he should be. You know, I mean, I got an HP build on him. We got the Rage on him. I mean, Mythic uniform. I mean, a pretty even comparison, trying to use the best team I can and using, you know, the best team I could for Namor. And he just isn't there. He's not going to replace Namor. I don't see that happening at all. But for those people out there that got a ton of max HP on their cards, like those, you know, AC players, those PvP players, they're going to have an amazing Hawk because his damage is based off HP. The funny thing about that is, and Netmarble knows this, is that most players are PvE oriented. Most players are trying to put as much attack on their cards as they can. So Netmarble, what they did was they're like, oh, we'll just keep Namor as the ABX meta because they can use him for Hero Day and Villain Day, and people will still want to buy him because he's a paywall, and they'll still keep wanting to buy his uniform because if you can buy Hawk's uniform and he's free to play, then everybody would just use him for Villain Day. You could still use Namor for Hero Day, but then Netmarble feels like maybe they would lose money if people aren't buying the uniform for the Villain Day for Namor. It's really, I mean, it's, you know, and they know that everybody's going to buy the Hulk uniform. It's Hulk. It's a good uniform. As to whether or not it's worth it if you're just going to keep him at tier 2, I don't know, because in the APK he's already automatically tier 3. But since his power is based off HP, having him at tier 3 is really going to make a big difference because you're going to get some good HP stats. And that's the thing to think about, you know. So if you got an account that's got a ton of HP, this is going to be a great, he's going to be amazing. He's going to be, I mean, just imagine, this account has 20% max HP. Just imagine if you had 40% or more max HP for Hulk. You would do so much better. Unfortunately, most of us don't have that. Most of us focused on attack, including myself, which really sucks. I mean, I just don't like the HP crap. It's good that it makes him tankier. I mean, in PvP, yeah, he's probably going to be viable, but let's be honest. When it comes to PvP characters, they get forgotten about almost immediately. They do. It's the characters that are in World Boss that are destroying, or characters that just have uncharted power, are the characters that get total notoriety. Look at Sharon Rogers. Look at Luna Snow. They're not good in PvP. I mean, you know, Sharon can do some work in PvP. Maybe Luna can, maybe with some careful gameplay. But they're PvE-oriented players. And those are characters that people really want because they can murder World Boss. They can murder GBR. So I just think that, you know, Hulk got a bit of the shaft, especially with the damage accumulation crap. The fact that Netmarble, you know, nerfed him, took that off of him. I feel like he got the shaft. I don't think he got treated the way that he deserves. So let me know how you're all feeling about Hulk. Let me know if you feel like he's good enough the way he is. I will test him in some PvP. Like I said, he did kill a Jean Grey. but I just don't know how well he's going to do on auto. I have no idea. On the APK, everybody's using Hulk on their teams. So yeah, it's Hulk versus Hulk all the time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.